This is so cool. I'd like to thank everyone from certainly the Riot Act, if you'd put your hands together for Ted. So I told you guys that I could get them to applaud. Now getting them to laugh is going to be another matter. Although I just read a study that says that people who laugh really, really loud and really, really often are the most intelligent people around. So hey, really hoping here. And they're also really, really attractive, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. So, you know, they said on the website that this is going to be an author debriefing. So I'm a recovering stand-up comic, not a real stand-up. So what this means is that I get to use notes, if you don't mind. And you know, you guys are going to be just part of my life's highlight reel. This is so cool to have you guys here. So if you'd all just kind of scooch together, what I'd like to do is get you there. Okay. Looking good. Okay. And how about you guys over here? Hey, smile. One of you guys didn't smile. Somebody blinked. All right. Looking good. Thank you. Appreciate it. So let's see who's in the audience tonight. Who's here from one of my invitations? A few of you? Bang your hands together if you're here from an invitation. Cool. And how about, you know, Ted was a little bit strict with me on this. He said that this was a BYOA affair, bring your own audience. How many of you are here who are just kind of curious? You want to know what a real spy looked like? A few of you? Cool. All right. Hey, delighted to see you. How about some of you who were here for the Takeover Washington parade and you just got off on the wrong metro stop? Would any of you be that? That one worked, Ted. This is going to be okay. How about ex-KGB guys bugging the place? Or anyone here? I think there's one of you here. That's great. Okay. Look at that. Okay. Thanks for coming. And, you know, no hard feelings. We won, you know. But buy the book because you're in it. You know, glad to have you here. Any FBI guys who are still chasing after Dick Gregory? Good to see you guys here. You know, it was a week ago that he was here, but you're getting close. I'm glad to see you. How about some of you who came here for the audition for Spying with the Stars that I'm going to be hosting? Casting's working out pretty well for that. I've got Lady Gaga coming in, one of my heroines. She's going to be working on a surveillance detection run. She's going to try to blend in with the crowd. I think that's going to be kind of cool. And I've also got Snooky coming in. Snooky is going to try to hold her liquor against a Russian team at a cocktail party reception. That's going to be kind of interesting to watch. And then I've also got Simon Cowell coming in. Simon is going to try to be charming, and he's going to try to charm someone into spying for us. That should be kind of interesting to watch him do that. I've been doing a lot of radio interviews for the book, which is kind of different. Happily, though, I have the face for radio, so that's been working out really well. And, you know, when you look like I do, any fellow threes in the room, you don't have to out yourself. But let me tell you, if you're a 3, the key to success is to marry up, which I did. My wife's in the front row. You should marry 10s. I also collect neckties. Here's a shot of my wife on our first date. Let's hear it for her there. She's known as Chief of Station Dunloring. She's also usually known as What Was She Thinking? And you get really beautiful children as well when you marry 10s. My daughter is in the front row as well. This is a shot of her as well. So all in all, did pretty well for myself. So a lot of people have been asking me, so, you know, why'd you write this book? And I've been saying to people, well, you know, I didn't write the book. It's all of my friends throughout the intelligence community who wrote this. All I did was just go up to them and say, hey, you got any cool stories? You got any great jokes? And The book's been selling pretty well because everyone's been wondering, geez, did I make it into the book? So, boy, sales have taken off great with that. And happily, you are in the book, have faith. Another reason that I wrote the book, though, was for agency recruitment. You know, a lot of people will come up to you when you're on a college campus and you're trying to get people to sign up for the agency, and they've got this view that we're all James Bonds and we look like Pierce Brosnan, and then they come to my booth and they say, you're kidding, right? This is what you guys look like? Well, geez, you know, maybe I could get in if you made it in, so it's working out reasonably well for us. So they then asked me, you know, I also got one other question I've been worried about. Do you have a physical fitness requirement? And then they wait 2 beats and look at me again, and they say, nah, I guess not. So on the other hand, if you've met our new director, Petraeus, we probably do need a physical fitness requirement, because this guy runs 6 miles a day, and we're a little intimidated by all this, frankly. So we'll see. One thing that I've been doing a lot since retiring is teaching public speaking, and just because I can teach it doesn't mean that I do it all that well or that I can get over nervousness. So I'm happy to introduce my cardiologist is in the room just in case things go really wrong. And my urologist showed up as well, because you have to be prepared for pretty much anything, so I guess we are. It's really been an honor to work for the agency, which, as you know, is the 2nd greatest intelligence service in history. And I think a lot of you know who the greatest intelligence service ever was, and the FBI guys in the corner say, oh, pick me, pick me. And actually, it's AARP, right? Because when you hit 50, they're going to find you. And that actually is the secret to how we found bin Laden. He turned 50, and boy, the AARP was all over him. I'm told, by the way, that the folks who do the student loans are also pretty good. They're vying with us now for number 2, so be watching out for them. They find you as well if you're a little late. It's a little odd, frankly, to be up on stage and be a CIA guy. You know, most of us work undercover all the time, and on your first day at work, you show up and you get an alias. You're not going to be Ed Mickolus anymore. And I was hoping to be a really cool sounding name. You know, I wanted to be Buck Steele or Rock Hardy. So I walk in the first day and I fill out the little forms on, okay, so what alias do you want? And I fill these names out. And you have to make sure that you give chocolate to the alias people. I didn't know this ahead of time. So they come back with my forms all filled out. Oh, what am I going to be? And take a look at the sheet here, and they smile at me sweetly and say, be it all known that henceforth thou shalt be known as Hiram Quinton Willoughby, ace accountant. That was just great. That's going to strike fear in the hearts of the Taliban. Oh, no, Willoughby is on the case, we must surrender. And this brings us to the audience participation part of this. Some of you may have heard the, so you might be a redneck if. So what I'd like you to do is, when I offer the start of a sentence, you in turn are going to say, you might be a Taliban. This is the listing that we get when we're going after Talibans. So, if you refine heroin for a living, but you have a moral objection to beer, you might be a Taliban. Say it with me, I know you want to. You own a $3,000 machine gun and a $5,000 rocket launcher, but you can't afford shoes. You might be a Taliban. Say, boy, you've got it already, okay. You have more wives than teeth. You wipe your butt with your bare left hand, but consider bacon unclean. You think that vests come in 2 styles, bulletproof and suicide. You might be a Taliban. You can't think of anyone you haven't declared jihad against. You consider television dangerous, but you routinely carry explosives in your clothing. you were amazed to discover that cell phones have uses other than setting off roadside bombs, you might be... And you've often uttered the phrase, "I love what you've done with your cave." I think we've heard enough from the Taliban for a while. So, a lot of the stuff in the book are real live things that happen to us. I mean, there are a few jokes here and there that I'll offer to you, but mostly it's practical jokes that we play upon the rookies. It's the way that we get people to say, "You're one of us, we're delighted to have you with us." One of the things we do is when you come in addition to getting your alias, you also get a little badge. Badges will have your face on it, and you'll have a little number on it. This is my 006.5 badge that my daughter used to have when she was little. And what we tell our folks is, tell you what we want you to do is you take your good old burn bag. Have you ever seen one of these things? You take all of your classified trash and you throw it in your burn bag. And then you clip it and you walk down to the burn chute and you drop the thing in and away it goes. It then gets burned up, hence burn bag. What you tell the rookies is, when you open that little door, you have to yell your badge number down the burn chute, because we're taking tabs on this. Now, this can get even more difficult for the rookies. Some of us have gotten the rookies to actually paperclip their badge to this thing and throw it down, just in case we've got questions. I've been talking to some of the rookies, and, well, you know, they're getting a little bit more sophisticated than this. They've heard these stories before they actually walk in the door. So now what they're doing is, if you are ripping apart some classified trash, you have to stick your thumb in an inkwell and put a fingerprint on it so that we've got a record of everything that you have already thrown out. That's a new thing that they're doing to us. Another thing that we're doing to the rookies is we now have these urinals that for some reason are solar powered. They've got this little thing at the top of them that does that. We're forcing the rookies now to swipe their badge against that. Because, after all, we are doing drug testing and we want to make sure we got a record of you. So, be aware. Don't let this happen to you. Another thing that they do to the rookies, I used to run What's News at CIA. It's the internal newsletter. You know, we can't publicly say who caught bin Laden, but I can say in the newsletter, "So, hey, Jimmy caught bin Laden, go Jimmy." People like to fake copies of What's News because it looks like the official record for the agency. So oftentimes what people will do is come around Thanksgiving or so, they'll print up a fake-looking version of this, and we're pretty good at doing counterfeit-looking stuff, let me tell you. So you hand it to the rookie, and the article will say, you know, for those of you who have been with us for 6 months or less, in the annual Thanksgiving tradition that the director has, what we'd like you to do is come on up to the director's office and get your Thanksgiving turkey. So they dutifully march up stage. Now, this didn't go over terribly well with Director Tennant, who's Greek, and who didn't like it when people would come up and say, "So, where's the turkey?" You gotta be careful about those things. We have a lot of photos of senior folks, the directors and all the rest. You get a portrait of yourself when you retire as the director. And the director serves at the pleasure of the president, so you don't really know when you're going to leave at any particular time. The key to know if you are about to be bounced as director is if the portrait artist shows up and starts asking you, "So, can I paint your portrait?" A lot of people didn't recognize who our senior guys were. So for a time, Public Affairs took shots of all of our senior folks and put them up in a central location for everyone so that people could say, "Oh, hi, sir, didn't know who you were." Immediately, people put up votive candles right underneath that so that people could pray to them. You want to make sure that you don't leave